Happening now.
It's a FaceTime call nobody wants. Deputies taking this woman into custody after she's accused of setting a home on fire and doing it on a FaceTime call. Whose home she was targeting? Next.
An Army veteran says sports memorabilia, including a Michael Jordan rookie card, was stolen out of his unit at this far west side location. But there were other things, he says, which were far more valuable.
And I'm tracking the next system headed our way, which will affect Thanksgiving Day and even thereafter. And that does include some rain. We'll talk about that and when the sun returns in just a bit. The News at 5 starts right now.
And first at 5, a man's home burned down. His ex-girlfriend now under arrest. Bexar County deputies say the flames were caught during a FaceTime call. Take a look at the screenshot of that video. You can see the couch set on fire with what appears to be a load of laundry. Deputies accused 23-year-old Sinead Soto of setting that fire just before 2 a.m. on Sunday. It happened on Shepherd Road on the southwest side of the county, not too far from Lytle. Deputies say Soto was FaceTiming her boyfriend when another woman answered the phone. That woman turned out to be a relative of the boyfriend, but investigators say Soto was already upset. Soto was arrested yesterday. She kept her head down as she walked out of the sheriff's office. According to a warrant, she FaceTimed the boyfriend while the couch was on fire and said, quote, "I hope your stuff's going to be okay," end quote. Soto faces an arson charge and a burglary of a habitation charge. Her bond is set at $165,000 tonight. New at 5, he served proudly in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now hard-won mementos of an Army veteran's active duty career gone after a storage unit theft in far west Bexar County. Tonight, he shared his frustration with our Garrett Berger.
All the stuff that we've been so excited to unpack and set up in our new place is gone.
Saturday was supposed to be a happy day for Cody Paulin and his girlfriend as they moved into their new home. But when they went to pick up their stuff from their unit at Life Storage on Petranco outside 1604, something was off.
Noticed that some of the stuff was missing. I noticed a drawer was gone, and I wasn't kind of seeing some things that I would have expected to.
Paulin said the lock in the unit itself didn't appear to be damaged, and it wasn't until they got home that they realized how bad things were.
We're still realizing more and more as we go, but it's been, thousands of dollars at this point.
Decorations for their new home were gone, along with all of Paulin's sports memorabilia, including a Michael Jordan rookie card. But as a former member of the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, it's items that probably can't be sold that have the most value to Paulin. Military gear and mementos of his time in the service.
Those memories are kind of gone with it, I have very limited pictures of my time, and some of that stuff is just like a hole in my heart that's missing, kind of.
Plus family heirlooms, including pistols and a cigar box guitar his grandfather made.
She heard of one like that as well.
Oddly enough, they found someone else's boxes filled with clothes among their items.
These were something that they might have put in there to, make it seem like nothing was missing.
Though to Paulin, it was painfully obvious.
There's nothing that replaces some of the stuff that they took from me.
Paulin says that staff here at Life Storage told them they suspected another customer may have been stealing from people in the Life Storage building. But right now, when we went to talk with the manager here, she told us they were not allowed to talk with media. We did place a call to the corporate office of Life Storage just before 3 o'clock, but as of now, we still haven't heard back. Live in the far west side, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. Let's hope somehow that veteran gets his stuff back. Well, new developments tonight. The teen shot by a former San Antonio police officer now out of the hospital. Eric Cantu's family just released this photo. His mother says he is being surrounded by lots of love. Cantu shot on October 2nd. Body camera footage shows former officer James Brennan opening the door to Eric Cantu's car as he was eating a hamburger, then firing several rounds at that car, hitting Cantu. Soon after, San Antonio's police chief fired Brennan from the force. He was actually set for a preliminary hearing tomorrow that will now be rescheduled because the judge in the case will not be holding court this Thanksgiving week. Court officials say a new hearing date could be scheduled for next week. New details coming to light in that deadly mass shooting at an LGBTQ plus club in Colorado Springs. There's actually a San Antonio connection. The Associated Press reports the suspect changed his name more than 6 years ago here in Bexar County. At the time, the suspect noted that name change was to protect himself from a father with a criminal history. The suspect took the lives of 5 people in Colorado Springs. More than a dozen others were injured. Victims are now speaking. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
I'm just amazed that I'm able to walk and that I'm alive.
Survivors of the shooting inside Club Q reliving those horrific moments when police say a gunman began spraying bullets into the bar.
I got hit in the back and I turned around to look at him and he kept shooting.
Ed Sanders shot in the leg and thigh, yet during the chaos, he says all he could think about was helping others.
I shielded another woman with my coat because I didn't know how long they were going to shoot.
We're also hearing from Richard Fierro, the military veteran who police are calling a hero for taking the suspect down before officers arrived, saving dozens of lives.
And I pulled him down. I grabbed the pistol from him, and I'm on top of him. I'm a big dude, man, and this guy was bigger. And I just kept wailing on him.
Authorities now holding the suspect Anderson Lee Aldridge on hate crimes and murder charges. Meanwhile, the community of Colorado Springs reeling, but in the face of heartbreak, there's also resilience.
This was a fear tactic, and to make us think that we're going to stop being who we are, doing what we do, having a good time, living our lives the best we can, it's not going to work.
And the LGBTQ community has been at the center of threats in recent months, with hate-motivated attacks on the rise nationwide. Advocates are now calling on leaders to address that spike in violence. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Colorado Springs.
The KSAT investigates team uncovering some bad behavior with a Bexar County deputy. Records show Deputy Aaron Holloman had several outbursts towards sergeants who all are women. The string of incidents took place between March and May of this year. In one of those documents, that shows Holloman became upset and clenched his fist while a female sergeant gave directions on the sheriff office patrol vehicle assignment procedures. That sergeant reported she feared Holloman might punch her. Records show Holloman was going to be suspended for 45 days. It was shortened to 15 for time served since Holloman had been on administrative leave. The United States Supreme Court clearing the way for the IRS to release former President Donald Trump's tax returns. The documents will be released to a Democratic-led House committee. Trump's legal team turned to the Supreme Court, which includes 3 of his nominees, after he lost at the lower court level. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal first sought the tax returns from the IRS way back in 2019. The other big story we're tracking, the weather. Live look outside where it looks a little foggy. We've had some rain off and on. Let's bring in our meteorologist, Adam Caskey, for the rest of the evening and the days ahead, Adam.
Yeah, Steve, very damp out there again today. This is more the nuisance dampness rather than the type of rain that actually adds up. You saw that live picture, low clouds, bit of fog, bit of mist, some patchy drizzle. But on the radar screen, nothing detected, nothing heavier than a little bit of drizzle. That's going to keep roads damp through the rest of this evening and tonight. And temperatures, although an improvement to yesterday, still well below average. 53 currently in Leon Springs, 51 Panna Maria Lakey right now at 53 degrees. And you take a look at the rainfall, and actually some of the highest accumulations southeast of town, 0.3 in Livernia, but that was really the exception out there. Cloudy sky, a few stray sprinkles the rest of this evening, not much of a breeze, and temperatures pretty much just holding steady in the low 50s. The Thanksgiving system is off to our west. It's headed our way. We're going to talk more about those rain chances and more coming right up.
Thank you, Adam. All right, let's check out traffic right now on this Tuesday. Let's go to 35 at Loop 410. And 35 is what's in front of us, and you can see it is very slow going right now, and even 410 getting on 35. Very slow going as well. We'll continue to monitor this, but no major traffic accidents to tell you about it. This is just the usual rush hour give and go. Well, folks hitting the highway for Thanksgiving might actually have something to be thankful for. Gas gobbling up less of their budgets. Prices are down to an average here of $2.85 a gallon, something we've not seen since January. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz tells us what to expect in the coming weeks.
Just in time for that Thanksgiving road trip, this is a feast for the eyes. $2.59 a gallon if you pay cash.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Prices plunged 12 cents in just the past week, 22 cents this month. Drivers are grateful.
So there's a lot of people that, live from paycheck to paycheck, and they really need that.
But Pastor Rander Draper says he prays they drop more.
But we're going to pray them down so that they'll fit into the budget so the average person won't have to struggle so hard.
Gas Buddy analyst Patrick DeHaan expects just that.
The good news is the decreases will likely continue through Thanksgiving into early December.
Part of what's driving the drop, oil prices are back to pre-Russian invasion levels. Right now, while much of the nation is paying more than ever for holiday road trips, Texas is not.
Texas is the cheapest state in the nation when it comes to filling up your tank.
And this Californian is thankful. He just drove here in this.
9 miles per gallon. Expensive.
Gas prices are still historically high, so to maximize your gas dollar, 3 things you need to do. First, check the tire pressure. Next, get the excess junk out of your trunk. And when you're ready to drive, take it easy on that gas pedal. Whatever the cost of fuel, Pastor Draper says it won't keep him from his Thanksgiving tradition.
No way, no way. Nothing like family.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
From good news at the pump to a quick reminder now, KSAT community in the middle of its Share the Shoes campaign. You can donate a new pair of shoes or socks to a child in need. The drive is in sponsorship with San Antonio Police and Zapatos. There are 6 San Antonio Police substations taking donations right now through December 16th. You can find more information on the KSAT community page on KSAT.com. It's still ahead on the news at 5. The clock ticking for the Cowboy Breakfast. Check in on how far donations have come since last week and what still needs to be done to keep this tradition alive. It is not looking good. And a last-minute ban on some beer at World Cup stadiums has left a brewer with a warehouse full of product. The innovative way they hope to get rid of some of that Budweiser. Plus, if you've got children homesick from school, you are certainly not alone. The rise in illness has pharmacies struggling to keep up with demand, what they're now advising parents to do. Next on the news at 5.
I'm Myra Arthur, and here's what we're working on for you tonight at 6 o'clock. There are some growing pains happening in the northeastern part of Bexar County. One school district there says it's trying to serve more than 25,000 students with limited space. And the city of Live Oak also seeing more people move there. How these changes are being handled tonight at 6. And the shooting in Colorado Springs has bar owners here in San Antonio considering their options. We're talking with several local bar owners who say they want to make sure their customers from all different backgrounds feel protected. All that and more today on the news at 6.
I'll see you then. Thank you, Myra. Well, a shortage in supply. It's what pharmacies are dealing with when it comes to first-line antibiotics used to treat common childhood illnesses like ear infections and sore throats. If your pharmacy running low on one brand, health experts say consider another option.
Work with the pharmacist there or with their prescriber to find another pharmacy that might have the drug in stock. There's also several other options that can be used as far as antibiotics go.
There are multiple causes for this problem, viral and bacterial infections that dipped during the pandemic, rising once again. It's also led to a domino effect with pharmaceutical companies basing their drug orders on what they use earlier in the year. And new at 5, a new plan after the ban on certain beers at World Cup stadiums in Qatar. The last-minute decision left Budweiser with a warehouse of extra beer, but the brewers come up with a solution. This all began last week. Qatar, a Muslim nation, and tightly regulates alcohol sales and usage. They announced 8 World Cup stadiums couldn't sell alcoholic beer. It left fans with only one option for beer, non-alcoholic Bud Zero. Budweiser tweeted out a picture of what they're left with. Look at all that Bud. They now plan to ship the unsold beer to the country who wins the World Cup. They also plan to host the championship celebration for them. Mexico, by the way, played today. The U.S. will play again on Friday. The World Cup runs through December 18th. And if you win, truly, a whole lot of Bud is for you. Now to an update on the push to keep a San Antonio tradition alive. Donations slowly building up for the next Cowboy Breakfast. And I emphasize slowly. They seem to be less than 15% that the organization estimated last week. They found that they've only raised $2,800, not even $3,000. They need $35,000 by December 1st to make the event happen in January. They're still looking for a sponsor. If you'd like to help, we have that information on our website, KSAT.com. But frankly, it does not look good right now. Now, I'm going to say something that, a lot of people may not agree with me here.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is a beautiful shot.
Well,
I'm appreciating all this rain that we've been getting.
Yes, and it's good to have the rain. It's good to have the dampness. Obviously, we need it. And now we are no longer the driest year to date in San Antonio. We're in second place. Take that, 1917.
Yeah.
Crept up on it, and now we're in second place, so that's a better position to be in. All right, going forward, some more sprinkles tomorrow. That dampness we have out there right now, expect some more of it off and on tomorrow. And then continued damp, warm, and humid on Thursday, your Thanksgiving, with it scattered rain. Windy as we get into Friday, and still some rain chances Friday morning. Let's take a look at the rain chances to start. Let's get right to it. Tomorrow, 20%. That's because it's just light sprinkle action, very limited in terms of accumulations. Wednesday night and especially Thursday morning, our rain chances jump up to 60%, so becoming more numerous. And then as we go throughout the day on Thanksgiving, by the afternoon and evening, those rain chances fall off a bit. I do think travel Thursday morning will be problematic in the sense that we'll have wet roadways and scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms. And then notice we get into Friday morning, still have some isolated to widely separated showers lingering across our area. So let's get to it. The big picture here. We just have that dampness and a few nuisance sprinkles and drizzle out there right now, reduced visibility. That's going to persist through the night. Our next systems that we're watching are off to the west. We've got one that's coming in the Pacific Northwest, already causing some shower activity there, and another one that's just off the Baja Peninsula. These two are basically going to converge right over Texas and stir things up a bit over the next few days. So let's take a look at our futurecast. I like how this one handles the situation. Notice how through the night tonight and 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, still gray, still damp, some lingering puddles out there, but not a whole lot of actual rain falling, just that drizzle and sprinkle activity, a few hundredths of an inch here and there. We get that again off and on through tomorrow. That's 2 p.m., 4, 5, 6 p.m., more of the same. It's Wednesday night and especially Thursday morning where our air really saturates. So fog, drizzle, and then scattered showers developing very early Thursday morning. If you plan on hitting the road Thursday morning, anticipate just that overall dampness with some areas of rain. Well, you need to turn on the headlights and you'll need the windshield wipers periodically. But notice by 9, 10 a.m., that rain really fills in. This is that 60% chance we were talking about. The first part of Thanksgiving is when we should have most of the scattered showers and even a few thunderstorms, a little bit of lightning and thunder. Then we get into the afternoon and that action pushes far to the east of town with a little bit of clearing possible Thursday evening. So here's another way to look at it. In the morning, wet roads, drizzle, and showers. By the afternoon, fewer showers and storms in and around Bexar County and surrounding communities. And by the evening, a little bit of partial clearing in the sky. So conditions will improve gradually, slowly throughout the day. That's what I'm saying here. When it comes to travel, the evening's going to be better than the morning on Thursday. Temperature-wise, we're in the 50s, and we're not moving much the rest of the night. 53 officially in town, 55 Castroville. Right now, New Braunfels 53 and Converse 52. Tomorrow morning, we start the day right near 50 degrees with some 40s in the hill country. Then by the afternoon, we'll get near 60 degrees around San Antonio. Stinson 62, Seguin 62 degrees, but Bernie and Bulverde at 57. Cloudy all day tomorrow with that dampness and a few sprinkles. Friday morning, we'll still have some lingering showers, about 30%, so isolated in nature. 59 degrees on Friday. Then this weekend, it's back to sunshine and temperatures well into the 60s, even some lower 70s by Sunday.
All right. Thank you, Adam. Well, usually we update the condition on players. Yep. We've got a coach update, not just any coach.
We're talking about Greg Popovich, and concern rose in the game in L.A. against the Lakers when he did the pregame interview, but all of a sudden was not on the bench to start the game. When we come back, an update on Pop. Back at practice today with the San Antonio Spurs. And is it time for a change at quarterback in Houston? Yeah, coming up. After going winless on their 5-game road trip, the Spurs are back at practice today to get ready for their 3 games during the Thanksgiving holidays, beginning with the Pelicans tomorrow night and then back-to-back games against the Lakers on Friday and Saturday. Players told us it was good to see Pop back at practice today after an undisclosed illness forced a last-second scratch before the Spurs face the Lakers in L.A. on Sunday, with assistant Brett Brown being informed about 20 seconds before the team took the court.
Health is key, just making sure everybody healthy. So, we're glad to see him healthy and, he's still staying on it. So that's always a good sign.
All right, New Orleans comes calling. That'll be tomorrow for a 7 o'clock tip-off in the AT&T Center.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys will have a short week to get ready for their rematch with the New York Giants, but coming off a remarkable road win, 40-3 over the Vikings in Minnesota. That will put a little pep in their step as they prepare for their rematch with the Giants, who, like the Cowboys, are now at 7-3. Remember, the Cowboys beat the Giants earlier this season in Week 3, 23-16, and the Giants are coming off their worst performance of the season in a 31-18 loss to the Detroit Lions. During the Minnesota win, we saw Tyler Smith move to left guard for a bit. Does that indicate when Tyron Smith is set to return, he will be back at the starting left tackle position? Cowboys owner Jerry Jones tackled that question today on his weekly radio show.
Tyron's will be a left tackle when he returns. To answer your question, that's what they were doing, was giving him reps there in anticipation of that, or giving him reps in anticipation of Peters basically playing left tackle in the situations and him playing guard.
All right, the Houston Texans maybe finally admitted they made a mistake by not drafting a quarterback in 2022. That's because, according to reports, the Texans are considering making a change at quarterback, replacing second-year starter Davis Mills with a more experienced Kyle Allen, especially after Mills and the Texans' terrible performance in their 23-10 loss, in which Mills threw a pick-6 in his second pass attempt, and the offense as a whole only managed 5 yards in the first half against the Commanders, prompting the home crowd to boo the team off the field. While head coach Lovie Smith didn't confirm the change, he certainly pointed us in that direction.
Have I watched the video a few different times? Yeah, and made some decisions on how we're going to go forward. But you can probably understand, if, like all changes and anything that we do from week to week, you kind of talk to the players first before we talk to you. So we're not pleased with where we are. And do we need to do some things differently? Yes, and we will.
And the only incentive not to make a change is to keep tanking to get the #1 draft pick.
Right. Yeah. Who you probably going to take a quarterback, I would guess.
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching the News at 5. Myra and I will see you back here at 6. World News is next.